Hi besties, how are you guys doing? So I know today's video is a little bit different because as you can see, I'm obviously at work, so I'm not in my usual venue, but I thought to share with you guys, like one video I made for my TikTok or for my Instagram, like my other social media, and you guys must have not seen that video because you obviously don't follow me on, Instagram and TikTok. I'll link that below. Just go and follow me over there. But I thought to share this video with you guys because I feel like everybody can resonate with that, and I would love you guys to, watch the video to the end to get the full gist of, why I'm sharing this video in the first place. And it was inspired by watching one Korean drama. So I hope you take out whatever you can from it. It was quite an interesting experience of mine, having South Korean friends. After watching the movie Hierarchy, my story felt like, what happened in that drama. I would love you to watch it, like the full video, but it will obviously be like in a social media format. So just watch the full video and let me know what you think about, what I'm telling you guys in that video. Make sure to follow me on my other social media accounts as well. TikTok, Instagram, I'm on there. So bye. In 2016, I had the craziest experience of my life because I was the only African girl in a South Korean club full with almost 50 South Koreans. Yes, how did this happen, you might be asking? In 2016, that was during the period of my master's. I did it in the UK, but during that period, I had different types of experience, both good, bad, and all. But one that stood out to me, or one that I was reminded of yesterday was, after spending 8 hours watching that Netflix show, Hierarchy, it reminded me of my experience with these friends of mine, because it felt very similar to what used to happen then. So if you are watching Hierarchy, in episode 2, there was a part where, one of the parents or the parents of the richest guy, the ones that owns the school, was telling him that if he does not behave, he will send him to UK. And it reminded me of how, so that means many of the students then that I had as friends were either sent by their parents to these schools because, they were misbehaving or they were doing something that they did not like at home. But one thing that I feel like most of these parents don't know is the fact that, when they send their kids to these schools abroad, you basically don't have any control anymore of these children because, I have never seen any group of people that smoke as much as South Koreans, because during that time, I was so surprised at how, even girls were smoking so much, boys were smoking, but the one that even shook me the most was the girls. Like, they smoked unapologetically. Like, it was, sometimes I feel like they finished one pack. There was a time, okay, we had like a dinner planned, and I'm the only black girl there. I don't smoke or I don't, drink alcohol and all that. But we had this dinner party planned because, the society was supposed to meet, and luckily they were always carrying me along. But it just felt like I was in the midst of, all these rich kids who were just doing whatever they liked. So during that meeting or during that dinner, you see that, some of the girls would go outside. I just went outside. I saw they were smoking. Like, these girls, I was so surprised because everywhere was oozing, cigarettes, and me, I can't stand the smell of cigarettes. So I was, but it was quite an interesting thing seeing how, there was cultural differences. There was, this difference in personalities and all that, because, these girls, they were not even, between the mix of girls and boys, they were not even caring about the fact that, girls were smoking like this with all seriousness. So I feel like all these South Korean parents that think that they're sending their kids to abroad to go and, become human beings and all, they don't know that they are just deceiving themselves, because that's, I was so shocked during that, period of my life. But it was quite an interesting experience because, being in the midst of those people, even when I was the only black person, I tried hard to fit in. Even when there was house party, thank God for one of my very good friends among them, or the one that even introduced me to those guys, that made me to have a more relaxing experience. But I was still not finding it very easy, relaxing, because, I was the only African girl. And, with my strong accent, with my, I'm coming from Nigeria, I don't even know these people. But then I decided to go and join a South Korean club. It's just like going from 1 to 100. But, the girl that I made as my very good friend, she tried her best to, make me fit in. But, it was just like, one of these poor girls trying to fit in with the rich kids, because they really gave off that vibe, even though maybe all of them were not rich and all that. But that, my friend, now that I think back at it, the way she was, or the her mannerism and all that, I feel like she's one of those rich kids that was sent to the UK to get manners, but it's a pity that I don't know if they are getting any manners in the UK. But if there's anything, I would advise everybody to have a foreign friend. At least once in your life, try and have a friend that is outside your ethnicity, that is outside your race and all that. It is quite an experience. It is a good eye-opener because, like, from, living true life. After that, my experience in the UK, I've traveled to like at least 3 other countries, and I've made friends, or I've tried my best to interact with people I meet in any country. Like interacting with people from Sri Lanka, Switzerland and all that. It's not that I'm bragging, but like I feel like I see the world in a different view. So like, even though this my reaction, or this my, experience with, the Koreans was quite an interesting one. And I was reminded about it because of, watching Hierarchy, and how my experience then was very similar to what, was happening in Hierarchy, because I'm not feeling like, the guy that is trying to get revenge in the midst of rich people, because I don't know. I just feel like that was what, my situation then was. But if there's anything, just try and have yourself like a foreign friend, it will show you like how our cultural differences in this world is quite interesting. Like, even though Hierarchy annoyed me, like, trust me, that movie is quite annoying, but it just felt like my experience with, those my friends in the UK then is very similar with, Kanha's experience with these rich kids. So I just thought to share my experience with you guys because it was quite an interesting one, and one that when I think back at it now, I have not remembered about that story. But after watching Hierarchy yesterday, it really reminded me of my story and my experience then. It was an interesting one, not entirely good because, I ended up leaving the club because I was feeling very left out. Not anybody's fault, but it's just my own fault. So just thought to share my experience with you guys because, I'm feeling like I'm in a K-drama, or I was in a K-drama. Who knows the next K-drama experience I'm going to feel like I'm in. But what do you think about my story? I would love to hear from you in the comments.